Well, we always worked on a team basis, a trial team basis, and I think that's what all of us wanted to do. We wanted to be that other person that was trying the case with him.
Right.
For example, my assignment always was the legal matters, the motions, arguing the motions, that kind of stuff. And Racehorse would, Richard would be the one that he actually used to tell me, here are the list of witnesses with that. You assign them. And sometimes he wouldn't ask who his witnesses were till the night before, witnesses to cross-examine. And the guy had this phenomenal ability to cross-examine someone for hours and sometimes days with what appeared to me only the slightest of preparation. He just would listen to the last answer and ask a question based on that answer. And when I give presentations to young lawyers in trial tactics, I tell them what I learned, which I thought I did that before, but not to his degree of success. When you're cross-examining, the key thing is to listen to the answer that the witness gives and then ask a question on that. Do not go back to a list of written questions that are down before. You know generally what you want to get. And all I would tell him is, from reading the discovery, is here's what we need to get from this witness. Just turn that over to him, and he could go for a day or two on that. While I got the floor for a second, these guys were talking about, I agree with everything they said about what made him great. But I think there was another thing that I learned, because we tried a lot of cases out of town. And so I was with him in other than just in the courtroom kind of environment. Went to dinner with him, ate breakfast with him. He was, and really placed his wife, Naomi, on a pedestal. And we used to go do things, shopping for things in the little spare time we had when we were out of town, so he could bring her back a present. And these, I forget what they call them, sconce that you put on the wall or something like that. And I never forget trying a case in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and we had a few hours and we were walking around downtown looking at the shops that were open. And he went in there and bought this, what I didn't even know the name of, and brought it back. And then years later, when he was having some event at his house, I was there and I saw those Lake Charles sconces still up on the wall. And so he really loved his wife, and I think that set a good example, because oftentimes people that have that degree of success have problems with their marriage.
With that. Eileen's in the other room. I'm sure you buy her a present every time you go out of town, right?
It's a Snickers bar. Jimmy, you said earlier that part of this show might be edited after it runs, so I want you to edit this part out. But I always thought the best team that Richard ever had, the best person, no kidding, was Jack. Between Jack's preparatory skill and his tenacity and Richard's oratory skill, they were a lethal team. And Richard always had one guy that he chose, and it was usually a guy. But back in the day, it was Ramsey, and then it was Bass, and Randy Schaefer, and then Jack, and then me, and well, he did let Chris drive the car. But there was usually an association that grew close, because, as Jack said, when you're trying a case out of town, particularly, and Haynes was a rock star back then, and all his cases were out of town, right? So when you tried a case with Richard, you were in Sacramento, you were in Kerrville, you were in Oklahoma City, you were wherever, and you were with him 18, 20 hours a day. So there really was a very close association. But no kidding, no joke. I thought the combination between Jack B. and Richard was the best ever.
I agree with you.
It was just unbelievable.